Hisuian Braviary, sheer force ability, and the life warp to complement the sheer force ability. It was theorized to be a monster in the days of Legends Arceus. It was theorized that this Pokemon was going to blow away the competition. However, upon arrival, in its debut generation, Braviary has found itself in the worst of the worst, the PU tier. Nidoking, a similar Pokemon who also boasts the sheer force life orb combination, has always found success, despite having a significantly lower special attack stat compared to Hisuian Braviary. Ever since Generation 2 and onwards, Nidoking has always found itself in the underused tier, despite what competition it might face and what environment it might be in. Why is this? That a Pokemon with much less special attack is blowing away the competition compared to a Pokemon with a completely superior special attack and a more high-powered stab move in Hurricane. Welcome folks to another competitive Pokemon discussion video. As discussed in the intro, we're going to be discussing why does Hisuian Braviary suck when Pokemon with much lower stats such as Nidoking find success. Even Nidoqueen is better than this thing in my opinion, but that's besides the point. I've narrowed it down to a number of reasons why this Pokemon is actually quite terrible in Generation 9, in its debut generation. Whenever you look at a Pokemon, you have to look at their typing first and foremost, and Nidoking boasts a superior typing. Poison Ground is a very unique type combination, which is good in both the offensive and defensive sides of the spectrum. Nidoking's typing allows it to be a very residual Pokemon. It is immune to both Toxic and it is immune to Thunder Wave, so the most annoying status in the game will not cripple Nidoking. Nidoking's ground typing allows it to be immune to the Sandstorm, so there's no Sandstorm chip. We'll chip it down slowly but surely, and in a game of inches such as Pokemon, everybody knows that chip is very important sometimes. Nidoking is also a Pokemon that resists the Volt Turn combination. That is a combination of U-turn and Volt Switch to gain momentum while doing chip. With the ground typing, it is immune to the Volt Switch, and the poison typing makes it resistant to the bug type U-turn. Braviary is weak to Volt Switch and has to run in fear, giving the opponent the momentum, and it does not resist U-turn, making the U-turns leave a sizable sting in its HP. Despite the significantly lower special attack, Nidoking boasts a move pool with a larger variety compared to Hisuian Braviary. It boasts a lot of coverage moves that threaten a cold 1-hit KO on a lot of important targets, whereas Braviary's stabs are resisted by steel types, and Heat Wave is not a stab move, so it does not hit as hard. The other problem with Hisuian Braviary is that the moves that it likes to spam are either unspammable or completely inaccurate. Everybody knows that if you have to bank a game on Hurricane landing, you're better off playing the lottery. Hurricane has a mega chance to miss at only being 70% accurate compared to Nidoking, which has options such as Fire Blast and Blizzard that it could run if it wanted to. But it's got safer moves that always land and always do heavy damage. And hitting the opponent consistently for heavy damage is much more reliable and much more of a game-winning strategy than hitting the opponent for mega damage once in a blue moon with Hurricane and Heat Wave, which also stands a chance to miss. Braviary, as discussed, compared to Nidoking, does not have a lot of coverage options that are sheer force boosted, that are valuable. It has Shadow Ball, but Shadow Ball doesn't really add to its coverage compared to maybe Ice Beam. It's got Calm Mind to set up, but who's using a sheer force Pokemon to set up? You just want to do mega damage from turn 1. So the coverage options on Braviary thumbs down. The only moves you're spamming is Hurricane and Psychic, and Steel types resist both of those quite easily. Not many Pokemon enjoy switching into Nidoking, and even if they do, they best pray that they be faster than Nidoking. That's the next that brings the thumbs down to Hisuian Braviary. Hisuian Braviary is slow. It's slower than a lot of walls, and sometimes you'll miss the power if you decide to run Timid. Just to give you a few examples, Hisuian Braviary is slower than Rotom. If you run a Modest Nature, you're slower than Tyranitar. It's slower than Pokemon such as Mamoswine and Heracross, which do threaten it in turn. These are all threats that Nidoking either outspeeds or speed ties. It's slower than Cleavor, which Nidoking tends to speed tie and is a resist to the rocks. That brings us to another point, folks. Nidoking also offers support. Nidoking has the ability to set up Stealth Rocks and Toxic Spikes to support the team, so it can fit in a larger variety of team structures. You don't just need it to be an absolute breaker. In fact, it can break, threaten a lot of damage while getting the rocks up. Back to the typing, folks. Nidoking's typing also allows it to resist Stealth Rocks, so it doesn't take heavy damage when entering the field, and absorb the Toxic Spikes, making it useful if an emergency defog or rapid spin is not being it's very difficult to pull off. Meanwhile, Braviary, despite having a larger HP stat and potentially bigger bulk depending on how you run it, every time you come in without heavy duty boots and a life orb attached, you're going to be taking heavy damage from the Stealth Rocks. You can also boast great resists such as Fairy, Fighting, Poison itself, Bug as discussed for the U-turns, so it has the opportunities to pivot in from time to time and scare the opponents out. And if your prediction game's on point, you can potentially scare them out into a different 1-hit KO. Braviary is very weak to the wall-turn combination as discussed. It's weak to rocks, weak to a lot of common attacking types. It's even weak to the knockoff, which is a weakness that Nidoking does not have. And there you have it, folks. Those are some of the reasons I believe that why Hisuian Braviary has failed. It is not a good Pokemon at all, despite having such a high-powered Sheer Force Life Orb Hurricane. To make this Pokemon work in higher tiers, you either have to rely on luck, or have to rely on gimmicks to make sure that it can shine and be the center of attention, which are such as slapping it on a rain team with sticky webs and paralysis support. Just use Tinted Lens on Braviary. Sheer Force is not its primary ability, and that's why I believe people are failing with it, because everyone's trying to throw off Sheer Force Life Orb boosted Hurricanes. That is what's appealing to the community at this point in time. Folks, let me know what you think about Hisuian Braviary in the comments down below. And leave a like for the video if you did enjoy this type of content. We shall be doing a lot more of these. If you have not subscribed, be sure to do so you can catch me in the future as well. But yeah, Hisuian Braviary, thumbs down. The only positive that Hisuian Braviary has over Nidoking is that it's shiny. It's one of the best shinies ever designed. That's the only positive of using Hisuian Braviary. You get to see a cool shine. But nonetheless, folks, we be turning up. Thanks for watching. Until next time.